I wondered if the drinkware was imported. If it is, it's knockoff. A sauna tea. Better than nothing, I suppose. Better than table scraps. We board the Kalypsia tomorrow. We've come this far. Many have claimed to have had dreams. And we've seen the ship. Haven't seen it take off, but some of the locals claim to have seen it fly in. It's a shame I couldn't verify that myself. Even so, all of the evidence seems to point that this is a legitimate threat. And if it is not the prophecy of the end of the world that we've seen, then it is still a powerful mage. But to bring these people together for what purpose? It's larger than just me at this point. Or so it seems. Still can't help but wonder if this was all a mistake. There are things back home that I could be doing. I could be wasting my time here. Something could happen while I'm away. They wouldn't even know. By the time word would have gotten to me, it would be too late. Even if I'd left now. It might still be too late.
There we go. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I wasn't quite convinced that you could use those. Well done.
Oh, well, that's a bit rude. Thank you.
I hadn't seen it myself. You
well,
can't
sure,
blame
I
me.
didn't have much use of it, I suppose, but you know, they're not just for decoration.
No, I see that now.
Yes. Are you enjoying some of my tea?
I am. Thank you.
Nice. Well, how do you like it? Well, you already said you liked it, but how do you like it today?
Still enjoying it. It's better than what the locals can serve.
That's wonderful. Well, I would hope so. It's from Asana. Not everyone can go there,
I suppose. I can't say that I've had many things from the sauna.
That's fair. Where are you from anyway? You mentioned that you're a traveler. Do you mind if I sit next to you?
Be my guest. If you'd like to keep me
Thank you.
company.
At least for a little, I'm waiting for my friend.
I'm from a small village outside of Rivendell.
Oh, I see. A small village outside of Rivendell. Oh, that sounds quite far. It's to the east, isn't it?
It is quite far, yes. But it was also quite boring. I thought spending my time traveling would be better.
I suppose that's fair, although I must admit that that's quite an interesting reason to go traveling. I guess, fair enough. Were you just a farmer girl before?
No, we ran a jewelry shop. But it wasn't quite my forte.
I suppose that explains how you have the money to do all of this.
Indeed.
Not everyone can just up and leave.
No, they can't. Is that why you became a merchant? So that you could travel?
Well, among other things. I suppose the main reason was I wanted to help. And the people that took me in.
Oh?
It was a way of repaying them the favor.
What did they do for you?
Well, like I said, they took me in. I wouldn't want to bore you with the details, but yes.
Very well. Is Asana where you are from originally?
No, but I couldn't tell you where I was from.
I suppose. Beastkin are rather everywhere these days.
Well, somewhat. A lot of them like to avoid certain places. Some of them are more friendly to us than others.
I suppose. Do you know which places they like to avoid?
Well, sure, I hear rumors and the like, but I wouldn't want to share anything like that. Let's just say that a lot of places still see us as slaves.
Rivendell wasn't much better. Some still had servants.
Did you? I won't judge you.
We had no need for them.
I suppose that's fair.
Session started, by the way, guys.
I suppose a jeweler shop doesn't need servants, necessarily.
Indeed. So you don't see yourself boarding this airship?
Well, never say never, as they say.
Good morning, you two.
And, oh, there you are, Molly.
Hi. Sorry,
Morning.
I got caught up talking to someone in the tavern.
I suppose that's what you did, yes? Well, I was just chatting a bit with, I don't think I got your name the first time. I'm so rude, I apologize.
May.
May, right. Well, I was having a chat with May.
I'm certain you run into many people, being a merchant and all. Expecting you to remember all of their names seems a bit cruel.
I suppose, but it's good for selling things and buying stuff when you can get friendly with, the people that you buy and sell things to. It's all about, when someone gives you a name, you, make sure to relate one of their traits with that name. And then you can remember it.
And how will you remember me?
Well, I'm still deciding. there's plenty of traits that I could think about. I really liked your eyelash, your eye, the name eludes me, your eye coloring. No, not eyelashes. The eye makeup, the makeup that you have around your eyes, eyeliner.
Remember her by so many different things.
Well, I was getting to it. Don't you have somewhere to be?
There are worse things for him to try and call out with my appearance. That's the
I
fact
don't
that he
know.
has chosen makeup means I'm doing a fairly good job.
To find you so we can talk.
I said that more
All
like
right, we
Taylor,
can
but I'm
talk.
talking as
Yes.
May.
Yes.
And apparently
Fine.
you talked to some noble and like sold some things, so I kind of want my
Noble?
share of money.
Oh, right, noble. Yes. Yes, that's a long story. All right, well, fair enough. I should address this, you know. I'll see you later, I hope.
Have a good morning.
I apologize for taking him away so soon.
Not at all.
Where would you like to talk? There's some fish over there.
Well, up on that roof. Oh, sure, that works.
Oh. Bye.
Miss Cacti. He was going to say something about boarding the airship. Surely he must see it as a good opportunity. It's the fastest method of travel to any place. I imagine he could get a lot of business. Didn't want to share his past with a stranger, though, I can understand. Well, if they don't have tea leaves of Hinode on that ship, then I will be pleasantly surprised to see him board. Asana has nothing on the tea back home, but it's not that far down on my list. Then again, I can identify that I'm being unnecessarily biased. But if you like something, you like something. And he is quite entertaining. So is his friend. Best not try to stomach anything today either. Unless it all comes up in my disguise with it. How long has it been? 2 days and a couple of hours? I should be alright. A few more days without food won't kill me. I do need to preserve my strength, though, for just in case there's any surprises. Hopefully Jasper is making headway. When Natsumi is doing well keeping hidden. Didn't see her yesterday at all. Not since we approached the gates. Hipsway DLC? Yes, ma'am. Hipsway DLC. We'll return this mug to the blah 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 to the tavern. Maybe I will indulge a bit more. Certainly helps with the hunger pains. herbs, ingredients. I'll have to remember this stall is back here.
Every day. A bit different from a crowd that I know. Don't really get to see face to face all the time.
Your music is
Especially
good.
because
It would strike up conversation. They might want to hear it again.
Talking to themselves, maybe.
I really don't know.
I'd like to speak to that frightened one. They said that they were from Hidode. I'd like to know what they saw in their dream. Perhaps I'll find them next. Take them to the park. Something open, beautiful, relaxing. I don't need the distress to start so quickly, though it seems that it's not just me with that one. By Thasus, may no one break this mug while I'm away from it today. It seems to be the only one in town. Ah.
So, pastries over there.
You want a burger?
Not sure what they sell over there. I guess he's selling burgers.
I'm selling burgers dirt cheap. 5 silver a burger. Bargain sale.
That is rather cheap. Well, I am always open to new experiences.
Yeah, I've been keeping them
May
in
I
the
approach?
grease bag because it keeps them nice and warm.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully the morning is treating you well.
Yes.
Do you hide in the bushes frequently? Or are you particularly attracted to the color?
I never thought about the color before.
Morning.
Morning. Elfie,
Alpha.
do you want to try salt? I mean, usually you want to put it on something, but if you just want to try it by itself.
How am I supposed to know if I like it if I do not try it on its own?
Okay. I got only a pinch just for you to try.
I've never had salt before.
So I've gathered. It's a bit of a surprising experience if you don't know what to expect. Just what the hell? It's tiny mode.
I don't think I can describe
Quit looking
that.
at me. I'm nervous.
It is good, but different. Sorry.
Yeah,
Are the two of you traveling
most
together?
would describe it as salty. No, no.
I came here alone.
Then it appears you
me
are
as
making
well.
fast friends. The both of you, then.
Well, I'm...
Just one. Nobody else has called me their friend.
I wanted to ask you a question about the dreams, but
I'm always happy when you do this.
are you boarding as well?
Yeah, the Kalypsia, yeah. I'm, going on that.
Because of the dreams.
See you here around the other day.
Yes, the dream, yeah.
Did you have a dream as well?
Sure, I'm not a master, but I'll respect
No.
it.
Just passing through due to rumors. But I am curious
Hello.
about yours.
I'm sorry if I annoyed you or disturbed you. What did you say?
I've heard that many people here have had the dream too.
Yes. At first I thought that they, were talking about average nightmares, but more and more of you are passing through these days. All with the same reports, with slightly different changes. Location and all.
Hey.
Well, I'm sorry.
I see.
So I'd say, ask you. Again, I didn't see you. Some people in town, so.
One night, I had a dream. It was very vivid.
Have a good day.
I saw visions of destruction. Places I had never been or known. Burning, falling. People dying. And then I saw a boat that sails among the birds. I had never been on a boat before, but I knew it was one. And it was called Kalypsia. And something told me I had to leave and come here.
Did you see a specific location in your dream?
Excuse me, May. Do you mind if I... Oh, hello. I'm sorry, I don't mean to disturb. Do you mind if I, stay around for a bit? I wanted to ask you more questions. I don't want to interrupt you, it's just...
Sure.
Great. Hello, nice to meet you too. I'm sorry that I scared you. It wasn't my intention.
We met yesterday.
Well, I meant her. We didn't really met.
I
Did we?
saw you yesterday. We did not meet.
Well, I suppose we might have made eye contact from afar. Well, I'm Alden. It's nice to meet you.
Maybe his
Yeah.
It's good to meet you too.
appearance matches
Leto
And to
from
use those
Orzammar.
claws on
Yeah,
me.
I know.
what they say about.
Well, no. Oh, goodness me. Why would I? Unless you make me.
You were talking to that girl about keeping them on.
Well, yes, I can't really take them off. See?
No, the ones on your feet.
Oh, yes, well, for protection. Like, you have your stuff, and he has his knife, and his weird gun.
I do not know how to fight.
I'd prefer nice.
Right. Well, fair enough. They're just for protection, really. I wouldn't worry. I'm not going to use them on you.
This bird is getting in the way.
Okay.
Unless you make me.
Well, if you're going to scare her, then I would
dream.
say no.
Well, I didn't mean to scare her. All right, well, I'll go then. Fair enough.
Apologies.
It's fine. She's hasn't been around so many people. She's a bit anxious. The dream. Location. Yeah, mine was in Orzammar, where I lived. So, blood filling the surface streets and draining into the underground.
That's not that far from here.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Mine was in my home.
Oh, get
In
it!
other places,
Get it!
too.
Get it! Was it?
This is the first time I have left my home, so I'm not familiar with places outside.
Understood.
Me as well.
Many things in common. I ask out of curiosity. You don't need to answer, either one of you. You left where you were because of a dream. You have something you want to protect, then.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather not see Orzammar destroyed. And all of its people dead. It's my home.
And you.
It's really all I have.
Because there was nothing left. My family was already gone.
How do I not? I'd know her, but I don't. There are few who will be traveling with you. You have mentioned that they were part of a previous faction and left because they thought that this would pay more. I'm very curious where the loyalties will lie. I would advise you be careful.
Your name is Maylin, right?
Just May.
Right.
I'm confused. You're kind to me.
Kindness should be the default.
It is not. You extended your hand for a greeting, but I'm used to being struck when one does that.
Where did you say you were from again?
This place on the map. Hinode.
I didn't know them for violent people. That surprises me.
Outside of my own family, everyone was. They would raise their hand to strike me. And then the ones with guns would come and take people away, and they wouldn't come back.
I see. I'm sorry that you were treated poorly.
You...
It's nice to
Their
meet you
hands
again.
were rough and cold. Yours are soft and warm.
I've never been one for wielding weapons or fighting wars. And you? Your name?
Right, yeah.
Breathe.
Introductions. I'm Leto Bronmora, Orzammar.
May. Rivendell, sort of.
May, that's... I've had customers from there. Of course, I've never been, because I've never left Orzammar until I came here for the Kalypsia. And...
You can...
Yeah.
You can let go now.
Oh. Yeah, sorry, just... all over the place today.
It's alright. I'm sure these last few days have been overwhelming for those who are boarding.
It's a big change.
It is.
Are you not boarding?
I wasn't intending to, but I'm almost convinced to give it a try. Might be more interesting.
I'd love to see you there.
Would you?
Yeah, it'd be great to have more kind people aboard.
Somebody that she can
feel comfortable talking to.
I suppose. It has been a pleasure to meet you both. All the more convincing.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
I won't keep you further, though. If you enjoy meats, red meats, the salt would pair well. I would recommend it.
I had meat for the first time yesterday. I do not think I could eat today, though. I ate so much.
Whenever you feel up to it. There have been a lot of firsts for you. How have you made it so far? Sorry, that was rude.
When I traveled from Hinode to here, I ate plants. I saw animals do the same, so I figured it was safe.
I see.
Other than that, I've only had a bowl of grain mixed with water before. The water was old and did not taste clean like the water from here.
Was she living on the streets? I don't understand.
Well, from now on, you're going to be drinking clean water and eating good meat. especially if Heelgrim's boarding. I mean, he makes some good food.
He said it was 5 silver. I only have so much on me.
Well, yeah, I mean, food is gonna cost you money, especially, I mean, probably on the Kalypsia as well. So,
If you don't have that much money, then where have you been staying?
I've slept outside.
I see. Something is wrong.
I'm afraid to stay in inns. Too many people.
I understand. Quite a lot, actually.
Do you also sleep outside?
No, but being around so many new people can be a bit nerve-wracking.
I just don't want to go back.
No. Where you were sounds quite horrible.
yeah. No, you won't be going back. You're going on the Kalypsia.
Yes.
So,
Hopefully your quality of life is about to change 10 times over. Good morning.
Good morning. Speaking of quality of life, you want a burger?
they're really
Perhaps
good.
later. I
You're
shouldn't
on a
eat
steal
anything.
right now. It's only 5 silver a burger.
If I gave you 5 silver, could you drop it at the inn?
Yeah.
The one, in the alley, down that way.
Yeah.
Very well. $5 silver.
I'll keep one set aside for you, and if I run out, I'll just make a new one.
Thank you. Ah, I
What's
see.
wrong with your face, Leto?
What? Nothing.
Oh, okay. Hey, Leto, there's another dwarf from Orgrimmar over here. He's a merchant.
So
He
many
got
merchants.
supplies and stuff, and he's asking what people want.
Great. Sorry, what? He, merchant, what does he sell?
Whatever the fuck you want. He's asking people right now, so if you ask him,
Alright, okay. Okay, I mean, I'm not looking to buy anything right now.
he's
does
got
look
access to
rather
mana
long.
ore, so you might want to introduce yourself.
What? Huh?
He got access to mana ore, so you
Oh.
might want to introduce yourself at least. Hint.
Beastkin.
Yeah,
Hint.
yeah,
Maybe a quarter of beastkin.
okay, yeah, I'll go do that.
Something else.
Alright, I'm gonna go sell more burgers.
It was a pleasure meeting you. You'll be okay, right?
I will try my best.
You'll be fine.
I have not met anyone here who has been rude or harmful to me since walking through the gates. You should get on much better than you had before.
I still can't be too careful.
Agreed. And old habits will die painfully, probably. It'll take time.
I don't want to die.
I'm not sure that anybody does.
May. Are we friends?
Perhaps. Why don't we start with friendly acquaintances? Perhaps if I can get to know you more, we can be friends.
Oh, okay. I had someone I thought was a friend that I met yesterday, but apparently it takes longer than that.
Yes, it does typically take longer than a few hours to call someone a friend. You are shrouded in mystery, my dear.
I do not mean to be.
I'm certain that you don't. But I'm sure you have many stories. Stories of your past that you do not want to share with a stranger. So perhaps when we are friends.
Okay. Then I hope that you board the Kalypsia too.
Perhaps I might.
I am unsure if I'll see you again if you do not.
If I do not board, I will be sure to see you off.
Okay.
You've chosen a nice plant to hide in. It matches your eyes.
I know, I'm more curious to experiment with my ore and see what I can make with it.
More that he's more
Absolutely.
Another one. Just by looking at her.
It's a shame. So many things. Limited
No, title. Title. She said title.
Title. I am sorry.
We were going to go, that poor turtle. Well, there was a dwarf.
Going on wrong.
A turtle on my head or something.
I don't know.
Is she playing?
I'm sorry.
You're quite alright.
That's a bit of an awkward sound.
Perhaps Jasper will be jealous I'm listening to the music of another bard. Sadly, no benches. But I could sit nearby. I'm assuming I can hear the music, or it's the world music. I don't want to assume, but I feel like she wouldn't just be standing there playing silently. Could ask that one while I can. Fox or wolf? I'll see to you later. Good morning. Doing better without being eaten this time?
Yes.
We didn't get a chance to properly
It's,
meet. I thought it was a bit rude of me.
It's okay. I don't think I ever saw you. Let me introduce myself. My name is Sed.
Said.
Mhm.
Should be easy to remember. May.
Nice to meet you, May.
You as well.
I assume you also here for Kalypsia.
I wasn't planning on it, but... Well, now I'm curious, so I just might. Are you?
Yes. Well, there's not really a reason to keep this secret, knowing that everyone talked about it, but I mean, for those that had a dream or nightmare.
Hello.
Ah,
Oh, I didn't
hello.
mean to. Sorry, I accidentally. I stumbled upon you again. Sorry.
He must have many questions. It's the second time. So, did you also have a dream?
Yes.
You and many others, it would seem. End of the world and all
From
of
what I
that.
learned, yeah. I don't know about end of the world, but it was certainly something I would like to avoid.
Some have described it as something more personal, with homelands being ransacked, covered in blood, and others have described it as Armageddon. The range is quite large.
The first description was very fitting.
I see. Then I'm sorry that you had to have such a nightmare.
It's okay, it's still just a nightmare, so...
So far, though now confirmed that you've shared it with many. Certainly that must be alarming.
A bit, that's why I wanted to check the things with the Kalypsia and see what's going on.
Did you have far to travel?
I'm coming from Solasta. But I was already on a voyage given by my master to gain a bit more experience.
Master as in mentor or owner?
Mentor.
Good. Very good. It would have been a shame if it had been the latter. Well, you look like someone who might be a mage, judging by the staffs in the
Yes,
books.
I'm a mage in training.
Mage in training. Makes sense. Mentor and all. Well, if these most unfortunate dreams do happen to be a threat and not another mage pulling the rug out from under us, then the Kalypsia would be happy to have you, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Everyone's been so kind. Quite interesting, if you ask me. I've not met a mage yet since being here.
I think there was a few people concerned about magic that I saw. One of them was a shade, and the other one seems to also be dragonkin.
I see. I suppose it can be alarming depending on what part of the world you're from. Considering the south, what is it? East? Tends to outlaw it these days. Punishable by death, I've heard.
I don't really have much to say on the subject.
That's alright. There wasn't much to respond with. I saw you walking off alone and thought I would finish introductions that I didn't get to do yesterday, so thank you for speaking with me.
Yeah, no problem. I was still searching for a library in this town, but it seems very hard to get.
That would be really nice if you do find one. I would be interested myself.
A lot of people are. So
Bunch of...
I'm doing my best to find one.
Well, then I wish you the best on your quest. Good luck.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You as well. That's twice he's hunted me down. Maybe I've made a good impression. Now that I know he can fly, I have to be mindful of the rooftops. Though I've got nothing to fear at the moment. Certainly he doesn't know who I am. And even if he did, he's not from Hinode, so perhaps he does not care about the politics of such a place. That really is the only grabbable teacup. Hello? Perhaps a butcher? Chef, maybe? Oh. A tavern. Oh. Sort of. That girl confuses me, and I can never remember her name. It's unique, though. From Hinode, lived a terrible life, has never seen anything. She could be someone poor off the streets, maybe. Someone unfortunate. Those that I haven't been able to touch yet. My uncle really made a mess of things, didn't he? And maybe she's not quite directly from Hinode, maybe the outskirts. Places beyond my reach. Maybe. It's too early to ask her to open up. But I am curious. More ingredients. Maybe fox. But kitsune. Not sure. Can't tell. I haven't explored this way yet. Natsume's timer is running out. We'll need to find somewhere later on. Everyone's positions seem to have shifted to the other side.
would like, I'll go ahead and seek her out. Yes, if you would.
Here she is.
Of course.
It's a pleasure to meet both of you.
Good luck to you.
Anahita.
I'm sure.
What was that about?
Pleasure to meet you. I'm Valera.
And Herrera. Wonderful. Very beautiful.
Better stay where I'm seen.
We just take these off. I want those on right now. You know what I sound like Claudia was? I have not had much
Zimmerman,
encounter
I
outside of
can make bullets. His living is making bullets. That's the main
Do you happen to
difference.
have any hats? Itoku.
There's
You can certainly
I'm
get
not
some
the
hard
best, to be honest. A couple bullets. Sometimes I don't get the caliber right.
Hat that can fit that one.
Right, I can certainly look for it. I'm actually going around asking the different passengers what exactly they need for the store. Anything from luxury items or necessities, like for shops.
This bench doesn't have a collider. Oh, yes, it does. It super does. Staying within eyesight of Natsumi would make me feel better, to be honest. Till I know what she means. It is a she. I've ran into many she's.
Very expensive. Just give me a moment. I'll give you the name for it.
Sure, no problem.
Actually, one thing I would go with. Quite a bit of thread is something I wouldn't mind. Maybe a few
I
needles.
don't quite understand.
But it's not much.
That should be easy enough. If I can keep you a
Thread,
constant
more
supply.
so for stitches. For stitching, rather, not typical thread.
What I asked was luxury.
She was conversing with him, though.
If it's for medical, I can definitely see what I can do, right?
Keep a wound check.
Absolutely.
Other than that, I'll get back to you. There's a few things I might be interested in, but I don't really know what we're going to be looking like there. And I have some supply at hand.
Absolutely. I'll have a sheet at the shop for anyone we need. Just simply write down what you need, and I'll take a look at it at some point.
Perfect.
I know if you have been asking me about. Yes, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say what my thing is. So I doubt you'd probably be able to find it for an affordable price around here, considering we're far away from the ends.
We don't.
If you want any Presidium, I'll gladly. Presidium.
Try to get the money.
They're probably bird people. You can probably ask one of them.
Is he boarding as well? I went around to the inn. Might be going out of character. Good morning.
Good morning.
I wasn't aware that the inn had other guests.
I have procured a couple of rooms here. The service is quite admirable.
I see. So you're not a resident then? You are staying here?
No, I am not from the area.
You a traveler, mayhaps?
What of yourself? Yes, I find myself waiting to board that airship. Everyone is talking about.
You as well, then. Let me guess. You had a dream.
Oh, what would make you think such a thing?
We can pretend that that's not what everyone is talking about, if you'd like.
No, I make no mistake of acknowledging what is true. Yes, it is on the lips of most people here.
It is. And you've had one yourself?
Yes, though it was quite a while ago now.
I see. Have you traveled far?
From the city of Valinor.
Not far from my home, then. I have a residence in Rivendell.
Then yes, not far at all.
Practically neighbors. Though, pardon my questions, I haven't introduced myself. May.
Lord Elrond Faven, envoy of His Majesty, King Erendriel of Valinor.
That is quite a long title. You'll have to forgive me if I don't quite remember it all.
Lord Faven will do.
So the Kalypsia will have a lord. Hopefully it'll live up to the lord's standards.
Yes, I should hope so.
Oh shit, fuck, god damn it. Well, I don't mean to keep you, you're one of the few travelers passing through that I hadn't actually introduced myself into yet, and thought I would take the opportunity.
Yes, well, I can't blame you for that. There are a lot of new faces.
There are, and none quite like yours. Forgive
Is it
me.
also dreams that bring you this way?
Myself, no. I was just passing through, initially, a travel. Though I am considering boarding. It may be more interesting than the life that I've chosen.
Then you have stumbled upon quite a coincidence. Is
I
the talk
have.
of the town, it seems, the reason there is...
Did his eyes just change?
All the place
They
feels
didn't.
like it would be almost
They didn't.
deserted without the airship.
Those are my thoughts, exactly. It must be bringing them lots of business, though. Hopefully, a place the ship can return to in the future.
Yes, I have already had interactions with many a peddler.
Trying to swindle you for items.
Oh, most definitely.
Perhaps if you didn't dress the part, they wouldn't try.
Yes, I suppose. But on the other hand, if I do not act the part and give in to their swindling, what good is the title?
I suppose that's fair. You never know whose opinions will lie where when it comes to politics and all. Sometimes it's safer to not look the part.
Yes, I suppose. A wise precaution. Perhaps. Well, I should hope I don't feel the need to regret such joy.
No, I doubt it, honestly. Everyone here has been very kind. I think you'll get on quite well.
Yes, for the most part, I've heard of perhaps a couple of interesting altercations. But other than that, it seems most of the people here are fairly amicable.
Indeed. I take it word has reached you of the cannibal.
The cannibal?
Small beastkin, trying to sell another that was visiting for food. Mentioned eating others in the past. Do be wary.
I see. Do you know who it was that they attempted to feast upon?
I believe he introduced himself to me as Seb, a mage in training.
Ah, yes, I'm familiar with that one. Interesting.
Certainly he could give you the whole story. I do not have it, but thought it was an interesting detail to learn.
So if it was not the ship, what does bring one such as yourself along these?
A common question. Just passing through, mostly. Nothing interested me at home. Thought I'd try to see the world, and heard that the Kalypsia was in fact landing here. Wanted to see if it was real. Surely you can't blame me.
No, I suppose not. It is unique venture.
No. Though it is quite alluring, seeing it in person.
Yes, I imagine the sights will be something even more splendid from up on top once she's taken to the air.
Indeed. A sight that I find myself wanting more and more the more I stay here. So we'll see. Perhaps we'll be seeing more of each other. Unfortunately.
Absolutely.
Well, I won't keep you any longer. Thank you for speaking with me, Lord Elrond.
Of course. The pleasure was mine.
It certainly was. I need to smoke. Of course I'll remember your title. You said Lord and Valinor and Majesty all in the same sentence. And the other one seemed to be...
Someone attached to a rope. Just
We
make
would
sure
even
that
never
one's to the
consider
sky.
Doing that, their leather was way too
Sky
tarnished.
anchor.
You know, having to trek through
It's
frozen
a
mud
rudimentary
and
little tech,
dirt
but-
and
Facet of
it works
dwarven
trenches and
Yes.
There's no
it
ceiling.
is.
as you might
that
have.
ceiling.
when
The reason
they
why our uniforms are
yes,
dark and it's
enter
because no point
spaces
cleaning
without
them after a certain point.
I'm here to prove it's not real, so that I can go home.
Because they kicked me out. They said you should pursue it. It's calling.
I'm going to be very cross with them.
Would he come at your beck and?
You would.
No, not to me.
No, dude.
He's wrapped around my finger.
Picture? For me?
I am Natsumi.
Natsumi. Nice to meet you. And you're also here.
Ow.
I should have expected that His Majesty of Valinor would be interested in this Kalypsia. Though perhaps that's something else he'd like to take for himself. Wouldn't be that far off key. That's really close, though. Jasper must know as well. He was quite close with the Lord yesterday. But his friend, a fox, not sure if she's of Hinode or not. Can't quite tell. Pink, though, is off. Close. Maybe she's a mixed breed. That would explain a few things. And the fact that she's associated with him.
Looks so good. Hey.
My arm. Rain yourself. There'll be plenty of time to sulk about it when you're not in public. Then certainly revealing myself is going to cause problems in some way. Unless he doesn't know. But I doubt that. He serves underneath His Majesty quite closely. I miss the days when I could hide behind my own mask. Then I could furrow my brows as much as I damn please. I suppose that begs the question as well. Everyone here is boarding the ship because of this strange dream that they've had. But then what? What happens then? You have a group of people who've had a prophetic dream, and then what? We visit who knows where first? And do what exactly? We would all sound like a group of cultists. Maybe the captain of this ship has some answers of a plan. Interesting group of people. Still not sure about the Leto. Can't tell if he's beeskin, quarter beeskin, or something else. It's not quite as animal-like as the other one. But that doesn't really mean anything. Beeskin have had generations to spread their genes thin. Uncertain.
Hello. I'm sorry about earlier. I hope that I didn't disrupt that conversation too much.
Not at all. It's just hard to ask her things when she's hiding behind another person.
I suppose that's fair. I don't know why she was so scared of me. But oh well.
Scared of everything, it seems.
Fair enough. I liked your pipe.
Thank you. I picked it up in Hino Day.
What are you...
Found you.
Hey, hello, Molly. There you are. Well, I was been flying around. All you have to do is look up. Right.
I shouldn't have to.
Oh, fair enough.
Ridiculous.
Well, you should have whistled next time. Anyway, what are you smoking, if I might ask?
I'm not as familiar with herbs as I am with jewels.
Oh, fair enough.
Not telling you.
Is it poppy?
Don't think so.
Fair enough. Tobacco?
Probably a form of it.
Oh, fair enough. I was just curious, really. I like the flowers, I like the decoration.
As did I.
Fair enough. Well, were you admiring the sea?
I suppose, in a way.
What did you do to it?
Alright, Molly. Goodbye.
I wasn't sure if she wanted to steal you away. Pardon the shortness of my answers. I was trying
That's
to
all
do her a
good, I
favor.
understand.
You know, traveling inland, it's not often you get to see an ocean.
You know, I hadn't thought about it, but it's the first time that I see the ocean as well.
Really?
Huh.
You and all of your years
Yes,
of
I
flight.
guess. Well, I mostly stayed around my little place, you know, in the Asana forest. So I didn't really... Well, I didn't really think of flying that far anyway. I didn't really have a reason to.
I suppose. But you're a merchant. You travel all sorts of places, don't you?
I don't. Just because I'm a merchant doesn't mean that I travel a lot. Just like our friend, the merchant alchemist, you know. No, I mostly stayed around Asana, and traveling caravans come and go, and they bring wares from the outside, and I trade with wares from the inside. That's how it works.
So what brings you here?
Well, a curiosity, really, and me and Molly wanted to get out, and we heard about the Kalypsia. We might think about boarding it. It's just... yeah.
Then I suppose our dreams are starting to align. Traveling because you heard about the Kalypsia and now you're thinking about joining it.
Well, perhaps, yes. Nothing is set in stone yet. I don't like to set things in stone. But maybe it's a possibility.
I suppose. It would certainly be interesting. You'd be able to reach more locations with your wares.
I certainly would, although, you know, sourcing my wares might be a bit hard when I'm in the sky.
It would. You'd have to get more creative.
Besides, being honest, merchanting is not really the main thing that I do, although I do a lot of things. So I don't think that I'd have to worry about too much merchanting. I think I'd just find something else, perhaps.
You've only introduced yourself to me as a merchant. What else is it that you do?
This is true. Well, me and Molly help around the Asana forest, so we do all sorts of little things. You could say I'm a jack of all trades in that sort of sense, you know?
Very well. I suppose I could believe you in that. No reason not to. What do you do for the forest?
And between you and me, you know, at the end of the day, we did only just meet, and there's a lot of weird people around here. And not you, of course.
I'm inclined to agree. It's very interesting, though. Certainly makes the day better.
Yes.
Perhaps. What's the
Well,
word you want to
definitely more
use?
lively.
Better.
Fair enough. I suppose since you did, leave your home for liveliness, then that would be an improvement upon your boredom, yes?
Indeed.
Well, then how have I entertained you?
You're a very expressive individual. I quite
Well,
find you
thank you.
entertaining. And you've given me good tea.
Well, that sounds like I've done a great job so far.
So then, other than you interrupting my conversations, then I would say my opinion of you is quite high.
Well, fair enough. I'm sorry about that.
I don't mind. I'm just teasing.
I'm glad. All right. What about yourself? What did you do in your jewelry shop?
I didn't, really. Family owned. It was never really my thing. I wasn't very good at it.
Oh, you tried?
I suppose. I was never good at identifying the ores, the gems, the tools. I was quite terrible at it, actually. They'd prefer I spend my time away from it than in it.
Oh, that's a bit rude, isn't it?
Comes with the territory. There's lots of money in a jewelry shop.
I believe that, at least. I suppose they didn't want you running their shop, but still,
Precisely.
It's your family at the end of the day. They should be a bit nicer.
They could. But I suppose it doesn't matter now, does it?
I suppose it doesn't, since you've left them behind.
Indeed.
What about your traveling companion? How did you meet him?
Suppose the same way I'm meeting you now. You bump into all sorts of people on the roads.
I suppose that's fair.
Haven't known them for long, though. And they've yet to arrive. I'm unsure that
fair enough.
they'll be joining us at this point. Perhaps they've abandoned me, and I'm once again on my own.
Oh, goodness. Well, I hope not. That would be quite rude, and I don't see who would abandon you.
I'll take that as a compliment then, thank you.
It certainly is. Well, fair enough. Then you're just companions, just traveling together, or would you call them friend?
I suppose we could be called friends.
That's good. It's good to have friends.
You and Molly are quite close, I'm sure you understand then.
Yes, she's my best friend, and I'm her best friend. It's a bit of a weird situation given, she's so connected to Jax. Her, Alterum, but,
And co-workers. Her being your bodyguard and all.
True. Yes, well, it's more reciprocal than that, but yes.
She doesn't assist in your merchanthood.
No, not really. That is certainly more my wheelhouse than hers. Although she can sell a lot of things if she wanted to,
I'm sure she could.
She just doesn't care to.
She's a socialite. A charmer, really. She could if she wanted to.
I'm sure you met many of those types, working or at least being around a jewelry shop. The high class.
I'm sure you could understand why nobility wouldn't want to speak to their... those they keep in service. I didn't speak to many myself.
That's fair enough. Although I suppose that if you had a jewelry shop, you were probably rather well off yourself. I'd be surprised if they were so rude to you.
Well, then be surprised.
Or your family. Fair enough. I suppose the contempt of nobles goes a long way. That's a bit sad.
It is. But again, that is in the past.
That is true. That is in the past, and some things are best left there. Actually, you said that you were not good with gems, but how about this? Snap it. Look, it's amber. What do you think of the quality? It's from Asana. I think it's very good.
Quality-wise, I couldn't tell you, but it's a beautiful color. Matches your eyes.
Oh, fair enough. I suppose that's fair. I liked your necklace.
Thank you.
Well, choker.
Whatever you'd like to call it. I like yours.
Was it a... Well, thank you. It was a present from Molly.
I see.
Well, it was a present from each other, really. I'm the trader. I made the money, But, I guess I'll take it.
Perhaps you should be more grateful from gifts that are given to you from your friend.
I am. I just like to give her a hard time sometimes. And she likes to give me a hard time back.
I see.
How long have you been traveling?
Not long. A few years at most. You tend to lose track of the days when you're constantly changing locations.
That's fair, I suppose. Things blurring into each other.
Indeed. What about yourself?
Well, not long. Again, I mostly stayed around Asana, so I suppose however long it took us to get here, which was, a couple of weeks at most, it's quite close.
It is. You seem to be very curious of my whereabouts.
Well, not necessarily. I'm curious about you, really. If you don't mind me saying, I just haven't really met a lot of people outside of Asana. And well, Asana is very beautiful, and I do recommend that you go with permission. Everything out here is so green, and that's it, really. I mean, in Asana, there's all sorts of colors. There's blue, there's pinks, there's reds. I was a bit shocked.
Do the buildings take you by surprise? Or are these in Asana as well?
Well, we're not so backwards, but the buildings in Asana more meld into the actual environment, so the trees and that kind of thing. But this kind of building, yes, we don't really see things of stone, for example. Maybe more towards the center. I'm not quite sure. But they're at least very rare.
I see. I've never been.
I can't speak for the whole forest.
I'm curious. Perhaps one day.
It's quite nice. Yes, perhaps. Why not?
With permission, of course.
Well, yes. Between you and me, the Fae are not the type that you want to anger.
So I've heard. I've never encountered many myself, but they have a reputation.
They certainly do. But, like most people, really, if you treat them nicely, they'll treat you nicely back.
Agreed. Kindness goes a long way, so long as it's reciprocated.
Certainly. Courtesy goes a long way, as you said, no matter the race.
Agreed.
What do you think of the people that are around?
Well, I thought that the first person I spoke to was merely explaining to me a nightmare they had one night. Until the next person I spoke to had one, and the one after that, and the fact that everyone is from so far away.
True.
It's hard to understand what any of them really want or expect to come from the Kalypsia. What do they hope to achieve? What happens once they board?
It is mysterious to think about, and a bit worrisome, but it's also a bit exciting, isn't it?
It is. That's why it interests me, I suppose.
can you tell me a bit more about, Hinode? What's that like? Well, not Hinode. Well, yes, Hinode, why not? You mentioned that you travel a lot. I just want to hear about other places.
I only pass through Hinode, though it is one of the more
Right.
quiet, relaxing places that I've been. Don't know a whole lot about it. Although that young lad is from Hinode, if you'd like a better description.
Oh, fair enough, then perhaps. Then how about this question? What's the place that have left the biggest impression on you?
Hard to say. Everywhere is so different. But I suppose there's no place like home, right?
I suppose that's fair. There is no place like home.
Will you miss it, if you're bored?
Well, I could always catch it with my wings.
Of course.
I don't know. It's a bit of a not feeling, you know? I've never really left my home. And let's be honest, I mostly came from Molly. So, it's odd. Perhaps I will, perhaps I won't. I think it's too early for me to know that.
I suppose. But now that I know
I'll tell
that
you
your
what, though, it
wings...
feels nice. And go.
Now that I know that your wings aren't just for decoration, then you could always just fly back.
That is true. I suppose I wouldn't be constrained like you.
Go on.
It certainly feels nice to be able to fly at, a lower level of height without having to worry about trees or anything like that. Back in Asana, I had to fly over top of it.
Indeed.
Couldn't see anything below.
You would like Rivendell, then? Open skies and all. Don't really have much for a large forest.
Well, that sounds nice.
Perhaps you could visit sometime. Pay a visit to the shop.
Perhaps. Oh, really? What's it called?
Gemstone. Very simple.
Gemstone? Well, I must say that your family wasn't the most creative.
It's memorable.
No offense. Fair enough.
But also, not my shop, so none taken.
Fair.
Gemstone, fuck me. The whole time I'm like, I know he's gonna ask me, and I don't want to be like, fucking Kuda.
Oh, did you see that one? I was
I
quite
did.
shocked when I saw her.
She must be far from home.
Yes, certainly.
Though, it makes me wonder, how much of the ocean is their home? Perhaps it's not quite as far as we think.
That is true, perhaps. Who knows? She might just live over there. Or over there, or over there.
Mm-hmm. You should ask her, since you're so curious.
Well, I did ask her a bunch of things, and I got a bunch of stuff, like that she is apparently very devout of Oceania, which is a goddess, I learned. And I learned her name, and, a few other things like that,
all
just
very
introduced
important
ourselves.
things. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Then you are quite curious. It's not just me, then.
I am curious. Well, no.
Good. Starting
Although
to
I'll
worry
be
me.
honest. Oh, really? Well, I apologize. At any point you can tell me to go away.
That would be rude.
Well, sure. But you can say, Alden, I've had enough of you. Please go away, and I won't take it any wrong way.
I will keep that in my pocket, then. Apologies.
It's all fine.
I don't see your attire very often.
Oh, fair. Well, look all you want then. Sure.
Thank you. I noticed you tap the stones. Is that a habit of yours?
Maybe. I don't know that I've noticed. It just feels nice.
I suppose.
But yes, it's very light, and it's very... Well, it's great for flying, and the leather offers nice protection. You know, when it matters, you know, the chest. And, oh, yeah, sure.
Does the plating on your wings not affect your flight?
Not enough. Obviously. You saw me fly earlier.
True. Was it expensive?
Relatively. It was more expensive, the build, than the steel, right? After all, it had to be custom made, essentially.
Precisely. This is why I ask.
I thought that I saw something, but it was just the sky. Yes. A lot of this, though, I bought with my own money from trading. Like the gems, and the choker, and the weapon that I don't have right now. But, yes. This was particularly expensive.
If you don't have a weapon now, then where has it gone?
Oh, well, I left it in the tavern. I could go grab it if you want to look at it.
No need.
It's also made from... Fair enough. But yes. And besides, I'm really without weapons, you know? And these.
Indeed. Not much of a fighter myself.
Never really disarmed. Fair enough. Is your travel companion more of a fighter?
No, neither of us really.
Were you not worried about bandits and that sort of thing?
Of course we are. But I'd like to think that we travel safely, carefully.
Oh, fair enough, but you can't plan for everything, you know?
You're right. Just like I'm sure many didn't plan for this airship and its dreams that came with it.
That's fair.
Fuck.
Yes.
Am I making you self-conscious?
Oh, well, not really, no. I'm just thinking, that's all.
Stare.
Well, again, I mentioned that you can stare if you want. It's fine.
I've stared enough.
You know, I don't know if you've ever seen a bird wildfolk after all. I've seen plenty of humans, though.
A few. Not quite like you, though.
Really? In what way? Tell me, now I'm curious.
Most of their wings are much darker than yours. Yours seem to have a different hue.
Oh.
I just find them fascinating.
Oh, fair enough. Yes. I'm not quite sure
Pretty bird!
What specific kind of bird I would be relating to my animal counterpart, but it's definitely a pretty one.
I'm inclined to agree. Have I satisfied your questions?
Well, you have, and if you want I can go, but just because I don't have any questions, you know, perhaps I don't mind the company.
Your company is not disliked. Again, I do find you quite fascinating to look at.
Fair enough.
Do you get that often? Compliments to your appearance?
Well, between you and me, the Neri don't like to... Well, they prefer other Neri. And the spirits, the shades that are in Sana, and, other spirits, they don't really give that kind of compliment or anything like that. So, not really, no.
Then what makes Molly so different? Why has she accepted you?
Well, Molly... Oh. Molly, we've been together for so long. Almost our entire lives.
Oh.
Oh.
Curse these colliders. So you met when you were young?
Yes.
And if I may ask, because I'm not quite familiar with lifespans of other races, how long ago was that?
Well, let's see. More or less, what? 20 years? A bit less. A bit less than 20 years, yes. She is quite young for an Airy.
Are you young yourself?
Well, yes, I am.
You say that like it's obvious.
Young and spry.
I don't understand aging.
Huh? What do you mean?
Your lifespans as birdfolk, beastkin.
Well, they're more or less like yours, human.
Good to know. We didn't have any around
Oh,
growing
yes.
up. So I wasn't sure.
What are you going to do? Good to know. Are you going to wait until I die?
Why would I do that? Then you wouldn't be able to bring me tea.
Well, I don't know. Well, fair.
At this point, you're a lifesaver. Now I owe you.
Oh, really? Well, I'll have to think about what I want to ask
Don't
then.
say that.
Nothing nefarious, I promise.
That would be quite bold of you if it was.
I'm not quite so bold, no.
Are you not? You seem so.
Well, it's not really, no. Maybe sometimes. It's hard to say. It's hard to judge one's character, isn't it?
Indeed it is. My opinion of you is curious, but also bold on occasion. You ask interesting questions, things that to me shouldn't matter.
Fair enough. I think you're quite interesting yourself.
You are sorely mistaken. A young woman who couldn't for the life of her be taught how to be a jeweler, traveling the world. That's about as interesting as it gets.
Well, sure, but, I'm sure that you've had plenty of interesting encounters, and just because you couldn't be a jeweler doesn't mean that you're not interesting. Perhaps you haven't found your passion, whatever that might be. What do you like to do?
If I could read a book right now, I would. Tell me that's not boring.
A book? That's not boring. I like to read. I traded for things for books all the time in Asana.
Then tell me what you like to read.
Well, I like to read about the outside world. I like to read about weapons. I like to read about love stories. I love love stories. They're my favorite.
They are quite charming.
Yes. It really depends on what mood one's in, really. I mean, it's hard to say I have a favorite, Plus, it's hard to come across. It's hard to be picky when you're trading, from people that come from outside the forest. I settle for what they bring.
Do you sell books?
Well, I own a few books, and we could talk about me selling them to you, but, they wouldn't be as affordable as my tea. I am quite attached.
That's alright.
But I could lend them to you if we go into the Kalypsia.
I would like that. If I do board, I am hoping there is at least a library. This whole town doesn't seem to have one.
Yes, it's a shame. I looked around, but, you know, I suppose not every town has need for one. Probably more like capital cities, or, I don't know, cities with universities.
Literature and education should be of value, even to the small cities.
Fair, but I don't know how affordable that is. You know, between you and me, paper is quite expensive.
I suppose you're right in that regard. It's easier to get in other places, maybe. Rivendell never had a problem. But I've never been this far.
That's good.
West. East. West.
West, definitely west. Unless you went a very far away, route.
Yes, it turns out I've just been walking in circles.
Well, you could have, I guess, traveled around the whole world in a line.
I suppose so. Maybe one day. Maybe on the Kalypsia.
Yes. Maybe, if you decide to board, that is.
Becomes more and more intriguing as the day goes on.
Did you manage to get a room for last night in the tavern? I heard that a lot of the rooms were full.
Well, I was lucky enough to get one the night before. I had come in late that night.
That's good. You know, well, I'm sure that perhaps a small town like this, I wouldn't really have a problem with it. I don't know how I would feel if I were you, having to sleep outside, at night, with all of these people around. I wouldn't feel quite safe.
No, of course not. Though some do seem to be doing that. At least 2 or 3 that I've heard so far.
Yes, although I think it's more for lack of availability in the inn. Poor Sid, I feel bad for him, he almost got sold.
So I've heard. The cannibal.
Yes, well, I don't know if they are cannibal or not, but they certainly tried to sell Sid as meat, so I don't see how they couldn't be.
Well, they at least mentioned to me that they've eaten people in the past.
Oh, goodness, alright, well, fair enough.
Seems they're also boarding. It's one of the few hesitations that I have.
Fair. Although between you and me, I don't want to be rude, but it is true. I wouldn't be worried too much. They seem not the brightest, so even if they tried something, it would definitely be overt. I mean, they tried to sell someone in broad daylight.
Because they didn't know any better, but if they continue to learn. They also had a large weapon on their back. Certainly that should be cause for alarm.
Yes. That is true. That is true, but, well... Well, the Kalypsia being so... Well, I don't know if it's that small, I suppose. I don't really know much about it. Well, if I'm around, I'll keep you safe from her,
You'll protect me.
Well, not just you. I'm not your bodyguard, but yes, I'd protect you.
You could be. I could pay you. You do have a weapon.
Well, I do have a weapon. Well, I have 3.
And what is it that you wield?
But yes. Well, the spear. You saw it the other day, didn't you?
I think so, yes.
I can go get it if you didn't.
That is up to you.
Well, no, it's up to you, but, fair enough.
You're the one that's going to have to raise yourself from the seat to go get it. I'm not trying to be a burden to you already.
That's fair, and you're no burden. If you were a burden to me, I wouldn't be here.
I suppose. Suppose that's your call to make.
And yours.
I could tell you to go away right now if I wanted.
You could, and I would respect it.
You did before. I believe you. So what else? You have a spear.
Yes. Well, I have a spear, I have my claws, and I have my claws.
Your claws and your claws.
Yes.
Talons, perhaps.
Talons is a great word for it, yes. You could also use that.
Sounds more fierce. It's okay. I'll let you borrow that one.
Fair enough. Well, you're so kind.
I've never been gifted in fighting or wielding weapons. It was always too much. But I admire it in those who do.
Fair. It's a shame that one has to learn, but, you know, it's a dangerous world out there.
It is. Things are always shifting. You never know what would happen.
Yes. It would be nice if we could all just, you know, stay home and not have to worry about any of that, you know, going out at night and be able to just enjoy the stars without having to worry about someone mugging you or worse.
Have you been mugged? Do you speak from experience?
I haven't, no. I could just fly away, May.
You could. Then you'd be leaving your wares, wouldn't you?
Well, I travel light. And again, when it happens is in the forest, and I'm not alone in the forest. No one unwise enough to attack me or try anything funny in Asana lasts long. Again, the Fae are not ones that you want to, you know, make angry. And between you and me, neither am I.
Oh.
I promise.
So there's order in the forest, then?
No, not quite. It's just, at least in my little place, it's a little community that gets together and makes sure that everything is safe. I can't speak for all of the forest. It's not a united place.
I see.
Well, it's united in purpose and in, you know, culture and in all sorts of ways, but not in name or in location, for that matter.
So if you stumbled across one Fae from one part of the forest and then stumbled across another in another area, they wouldn't necessarily be friends?
It's hard to say that they would be enemies, but the Fae are just people like you and me, you know?
I suppose. But usually a nation is one nation.
Well, that's the thing. It's not really a nation. There's no leader, as far as I know. It's just a collection of equal-minded people that live together and, you know, work together without needing to be some leader or some anything.
So then, who rallies the troops? Who makes the decisions?
Well, the decisions mostly, at least in my little community, say someone wants to build something, right? And maybe it's near some other person, so they go talk with them and, you know, they reach an agreement. And if there's no agreement, well, it's usually peaceful. And if it isn't, well, you know, they're reprimanded in some way or some such. But I'll be honest, there's not really much of that because they're all so close together and, you know, when you're a Fae and you live for forever, why would you get angry about something so trivial, right? At least that's my experience in my little place. Again, I can't speak for the whole forest. As for defending the forest and who rallies the troops, well, me and Molly and the group that I was speaking about, we whistle. We communicate through whistle. It's a whistle language. And so when someone finds someone in the forest that they should be doing something that they shouldn't, they whistle. And everyone else hears it, and they go help.
Has no one ever tried to take the forest for their own?
Oh, they have, plenty of times. And the forest has been shrinking as far as I've been told, through generations, Kashin, the elves, or, the south. It's hard to say, or just communities here and there. But as far as I know... Oh, yes, there was this one time. A group of elves came to the forest. They wanted something about Era. I'm not quite sure about it. I was told by Molly. And, well, it didn't end well for them. Again, we're in our home turf, so we have the advantage to an extent. Plus, the forest itself, it defends itself.
Do you know what kind of elves they were? Where they were from?
Well, I suspect, since they were probably from, Valinor, since it's nearby, but it's hard to say. I wouldn't know.
I see.
I think it would be rude to assume. Although,
It would be like them, though.
Well, I shouldn't comment on that. It's rude. But yes.
Is it rude if they attacked your home?
I more meant a more generalized comment rather than about them.
I see.
I don't know that elves care too much about us, or lesser races as they would call them, so that's what I meant.
I see. Understood. I apologize
We
for
haven't had many
misunderstanding
good
you.
experiences with elves. No, that's fine. Yes. I'm not about being a bit petty, especially about people that, tried to break into our forest.
There were many elves back home. They had quite the influence over Rivendell. They were all a bit haughty.
I believe that.
At least the ones of Valinor think that everything belongs to them.
But yes, it's not really a community that requires much leadership, There's people that get rallied towards certain people, right? Just because some people are just more charismatic or have more leadership in them, but there's not really titles or anything like that, at least not usually, It's not an absolute.
Does your forest, does Asana have any allies? People they could call upon for help if they ever needed it? Or people that they would help in turn?
Well, the people that trade with us, they're usually communities or farms that are independent, like little family states or places here and there. And, sometimes if they're close enough and they're in trouble, well, at least I personally, maybe not the group that I'm with, they don't like that we leave the forest. I would try to help, but it's not really come up. I think the answer would mostly be no, but,
I see. I suppose I could understand.
It's hard to speak for the whole forest, as I said, I've only lived on the western part of it, so...
Right, but you could potentially share their opinions. It's still good insight to have.
That's fair, I suppose. Why are you so interested, anyway?
You're talking about a place that I've never heard of before, whereas I'm neighbors to Valinor.
That's fair. Fair.
I guess it just piques my
What do you
interest.
think of them?
Of Valinor?
Yes.
I think that they are several steps ahead of the rest of the world. And I wish that they could share in some ways, and others I wish they wouldn't.
Fair enough. That's one way to look at it. I can't help but feel that you're wording it like that on purpose. But that's okay. It's very diplomatic of you.
Well, it would be rude of me to say otherwise. But perhaps we can have a more thorough conversation over some drinks if we both board the ship.
Yes, why not?
If you do decide to officially board, I would be curious if you could tell me. It might sway my opinion.
Tell you about what?
That you are boarding the Kalypsia.
Oh. Right, well, I'll be sure to tell you if I decide it, but it might be one of those things where, you know, the Kalypsia says it's leaving and we have to make a call, but I'll tell you beforehand.
If my companion truly
If
has
it
abandoned
comes
me,
to be.
then I've quite enjoyed your company.
Fair enough, I'm glad to hear. I've quite enjoyed yours.
Hmm. I wonder what he's thinking. Am I laying it on too thick? Should I back off?
Who should I look out for then? In case I spot your companion, I wouldn't want them to be left behind.
They are quite generic, I suppose. I'm not even
Not
quite
really,
sure
well.
what their race is, though I do think they are some form of elf.
Wait, what do you mean? I'm a bit surprised by that.
They often wear a helmet. Rarely do they take it off,
Oh,
and we're
right.
not close, but we trust one another.
Oh, fair enough, I suppose that's fair. So I should look for someone with a helmet.
Yes.
Hello again.
I was wondering when she'd
Hello,
show
Molly.
back up.
Oh, thank you.
Did you want to speak with him? I
It was
can
on sale from
go.
Pilgrim.
Oh, another burger.
Oh, it is alright. It was 3 silver this time instead of the normal 5.
Oh, he wanted to charge me
Figured I'd buy
for
it for
the little scam artist. How dare he?
You're just not cute
Can't
enough.
believe it. Well, I'm cute enough, alright? You know, maybe not for Holgrim.
Maybe.
This is what I was saying
Not that I
earlier.
care to be for him. What? Oh, well, you know, it's different, alright?
I don't think that it is. I think she proves my point.
Maybe.
Well, I will leave you to continue talking.
Sure.
Seems like you're having a long, nice talk, so... I don't want to...
I don't know how to take that, but yes.
Well, you're talking to her for a while. It seems like you're getting along. Am I wrong?
Well, we are, I'd like to think.
You've been the worst company of my
Friends
life.
are always nice.
Oh, well, goodness. Alright. But yes, thank you for the food, Molly. Alright, sure. I'll give you the silver later for the burger. Goodbye.
Okay.
To win. Alright, sure. I don't know what she wins.
You know,
Well,
she's
quite nice.
welcome to stay. Doesn't bother me.
Oh, well, fair. I think it's more up to her, really. She comes and goes. It doesn't bother me either. But if she wanted to stay, she would have. Molly's like that.
Yes, well, I imagine she doesn't go too far being your bodyguard, no?
Yes. It's more reciprocal. You know. Again, I can defend myself, and she can defend me in turn, but yes.
Even so, that's how she chose to introduce herself.
Fair, but, you know. How do I put this? Much like what I told you was true, but not necessarily the whole thing. It's similar with Molly. Again, there's a lot of weird people around. you know, if we board the Kalypsia, I wouldn't mind being a bit more candid with a few things, but all I've said is true. That is true.
You're not leaving an ounce of mystery.
Well, it's good to be a bit mysterious, you know.
It keeps people interested.
Have you tried Holgrim's burgers? They're pretty good.
I've paid for one. He's left it in the tavern for later.
Oh, I see. They're not bad. I'd recommend it.
They don't need anything extra. You recommend them as is. I won't be eating
What extra
anything
would you
without
put?
Jasper trying it. Recommended salt to the dragonkin.
I don't mind salty things. I like salty things, actually. Yes. But...
I don't know why that was funny.
But they're fine.
Probably because my
You
mind's
know,
in the
salt
gutter.
is quite expensive once more, you know. I think being the daughter of some people with jewels, you know, might make you a bit, you know, insensitive towards some things and prices, you know.
It's entirely ruined my concept of how much people should be charging me. You could swindle me and I wouldn't even know it.
Well, I wouldn't want to.
Not even at a chance for more money.
Well, I'm not in need of too much money. We're quite well off. And even if I weren't, I feel it's a bit unfair to do that to most people, you know.
An honest merchant, then.
You know, relatively.
Who's the weirdest person you've run into while you were here?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say, depending on your definition of weird, you know. I suppose the lady that was hiding from me must be up there, or Sable, or... Well, I think calling her weird is rude, so I wouldn't, you know... But I think it's a bit odd to see a sea folk so far from the... Well, maybe not so far from the ocean, but on land at least. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, it's right there.
As we discussed, we could be her neighbors right now.
Well, that's fair.
But I agree. Seeing her for the first time was a surprise.
She has a cute bird brooch, though, you know, so that gives her extra points.
I'm inclined to say that you're a bit biased.
Well, maybe a tiny, tiny bit.
Would you find it appropriate if
tiny
it
bit.
a pin of a fish?
Well, it would be odd, I think, but I think it would be cute, you know. A sea folk wearing a pin of a fish.
Perhaps
right?
you should wear one and see what she thinks. Although it's a bit symbolic.
The reason she gave to have it was very cute and very nice. Apparently, she thought that it would be a nice way to show her respect and how much she liked the surface world and its creatures. And while I think it's a bit naive and a bit, perhaps not so well thought out, it was a cute brooch and its intentions are nice, so why should I be so mean about it?
That is rather sweet. Then I suppose you shouldn't tease her. That would be rude.
And I didn't.
What?
Well, I just had two thoughts. One, me wearing a fish brooch and approaching her again, but I won't do that because it would be teasing. And secondly, I thought that it would be quite funny if I had appeared with a being in the form of a human for me coming into the town.
Oh. Putting myself in that position, I suppose, does seem a bit out of touch.
Yes, certainly. Number one human fan.
You asshole. Fuck. What was I thinking? I was gonna ask him something, and I can't remember. Fuck. What was my train of thought?
Well, I'm glad I made you laugh.
I'm stuck imagining someone trying to walk into a city to steal something important, knowing nothing about its culture, trying to blend in as much as they can, decorated in things that they think the opposite race would like a human pin fastened to their chest.
Can you imagine? Goodness,
Totally
that would be
normal,
very funny.
unsuspecting fellow human.
I guess, of course. Hello, my fellow human enthusiasts. I am one of you. Oh, your human culture is so beautiful. And your human food?
Oh, God. Is it easy for you to travel in places that are not primarily beastskin?
Well, again, I mostly stayed on the forest, but I can't say that it's not quite what you asked, but I will say that it sometimes feels a bit lonely being in Asana. I'm the only beast folk, I'm the wild folk, really, from Asana. That in my area, of course, I can't speak for the whole forest. And, well, the Neri themselves and the spirits do have a more preference, in-group preference. So I do feel a bit alone sometimes. Molly helps, of course, and as does her parents. You know, they treat me nice, but, you know, when I go out and try to make friends, it's a bit hard. And similarly, if I try anything else, you know, traveling has been a bit freeing, I'll be honest, at least so far. I've met more wild folk here than I have in Asana, as I've met all other sorts of races.
In Rivendell and Valinor, they keep beastskin as servants, trophies. Some. I'm not used to seeing so many. So many that are on their own.
It's a bit unfortunate, but the world thinking us as slaves is not, well, it's more widespread from what I heard than not. It's hard to say, I suppose. But yes, I hope that you don't think of us as that. You haven't given me that impression.
Not at all. As I said, we never kept any.
You did. Still, you know, just because you didn't partake. But I understand, and I'm glad to hear that. I couldn't imagine myself shackled or, you know, with my wings clipped.
I imagine you'd be kept for show. Less of a servant, more of a trophy.
Well, looking at the other side, you know, I would make quite the trophy.
Don't make it sound so appealing. I don't think you'd like it very much.
Well, it's a joke. No, I wouldn't.
A joke in poor taste.
Fair enough, but it's in poor taste against my own kind, alright? You know, I'm a wild folk. I can make those jokes.
Fair. I have no place to judge.
And besides, during bad times and hard situations, it's good to have good humor about it, you know? Otherwise one would go crazy. If you don't look at the positives in a situation, one can get stuck in this mental loop and, well, you might end up depressed or worse. You know, I went through that, you know, I understand.
I'm of the opinion that there's a time and a place for jokes and a time of seriousness or tragedy.
I suppose that's fair. I will say that perhaps my gauge for that sort of thing is a bit skewed, because I'm around Faye all the time, and they like to make jokes all the time. So perhaps, you know, my bad if that was one of those moments.
No, it wasn't. Just a general topic, I suppose.
Fair enough.
Though
I'll
it's
be more
my
careful
fault
in the
for bringing
future,
it
thank
up.
you. It's fine. I don't mind. If I wasn't comfortable with it, I would have told you that I didn't want to talk about it. I'm very open like that.
I'll keep that in mind.
Similarly, if I, you know, make a comment or touch on a topic that you don't want to talk about, please be open with me.
Of course.
How is it being a human surrounded by so many different races and... I don't know, have you gotten used to it by now?
Traveling sort of takes away the anomaly of it all.
I suppose that's fair.
But it is always interesting finding out what sort of people you'll run into. I suppose this is a special occasion, though. People are coming from all over the place on purpose.
Certainly.
I need to check on Natsume soon. Does being social tire you?
Well, I haven't been this social in a long time, I'll be honest. I usually keep to myself in the forest, and me and Molly visit each other. And, you know, sometimes when I go into town to get the, you know, the things that I need to trade with the outsiders. But I think it's nice, you know. It's been like opening my wings after a long time without doing that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that I've ever been so social that I've been tired out, but so far so good. And it helps that I'm in good company, you know.
I suppose. I'm sure you have far more interesting company to keep over the bridge.
Oh, not really. Unless you want me to go, but no, not really.
Just curious at all. You've been here with me at my side for quite some time. Silence fills the air from time to time. I just wonder why you are still here.
Well, Why not? I already met most of them anyway, you know. Then again, you seem interesting to me.
You keep saying that. How interesting can a human really be?
Well, that's a bit racist, you know.
I'm
I
allowed,
guess it's not
aren't
really
I?
racist because you're a human. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Fine. But yes, as interesting as any other person can be.
Quite bland in comparison, I would say.
Tell me. Oh, please. I mean, I think it's quite adventurous, you know? Setting out on your own, at least at the start, after being from a well-off family and out into the wild and adventure to try to find, you know, something interesting, you know, something different. You know, and you could make a book about that, you know?
I suppose.
Young lady traveling all by herself. You know, she meets a mysterious stranger, you know? They start being together. I mean, come on, you know, I could think of many stories like that.
It would be easy to write. I meet many strangers on the roads.
Well, sure.
Perhaps you'll end up in the book.
Oh, yes? A footnote, maybe.
A small one. Easy to miss. Or a couple of chapters, who knows?
Well, I guess we'll see. Depends, I suppose.
Brief
What kind of
mentions.
books do you like, May?
Ours are similar, actually. You mentioned romance. That one's always intriguing. It's easy to fantasize. Easy to get into.
Absolutely.
I enjoy books that try and challenge reality. Everything is a bit fantastical when you think about it. Things that challenge
Fair.
those things on a
mean-
deeper level is interesting to me.
I could see the appeal. I haven't read many of those before, but maybe a book about a world without magic or something like that. Is that what you mean?
Yes, something more serious.
Oh, interesting. Fair enough.
How things would have developed without all of this.
It's hard to say. But fair enough. So fantasy, fantasy, romance, anything else? Don't laugh.
I'm generally open to anything. If a book is good, then I'm not going to judge it by its genre.
Fair enough. I suppose that's fair.
Besides, there are so many out there, and you think about it, how many you won't get to read in your lifetime. You're already missing out by being picky.
True. Not that I had the option.
Would you like more books?
Yes, why not? It's good to read. Me and Molly like reading. You know.
Perhaps I could lend you one.
Yes, sure, we can lend each other books.
That would be nice. I would actually enjoy that. What?
Well, I was thinking. Well, I was wondering, I guess. I wonder, much like yourself, if the Kalypsia has a library or a collection of books, you know?
If they don't, we'll be left with our own. We would run out quickly. Not much we can do about
Nothing
it, though.
wrong with that. We can discuss all about the minutiae, really. My favorite was page 63.
Have gossip sessions on the balconies. What was your favorite part? Oh, me too. Sounds ridiculous.
I like your gloves, by the way.
Thank you. They're
And your
comfortable.
nails. I like the color.
Would you consider
Maybe a bit
yours
longer.
nails?
I think claws is more appropriate, but, you know, I suppose, in a way, they're also nails. Hello, Molly.
Hello.
You're free to stay, by the way.
It is alright. I'm going to be heading out early today.
All right,
I'm
Molly.
going on a journey with Mia.
All right. If there's any trouble, make sure to send Jax or something, and I'll come flying. All
I will
right.
send him in your direction if something goes awry.
All right. But well, a bunch of bears shouldn't be no issue. You'll be fine.
No, I should be fine. You know me.
I do know you.
They will know it hit him.
True.
Yes.
All right.
I hope you both have a lovely rest of your day.
Well, before you
You
go,
as well.
don't you dare leave like that.
Safe travels.
Oh,
Oh, thank you.
don't you dare.
Aww.
All right. Well, be safe, okay?
I will. I'll see you around, Songbird.
See you around.
Goodbye, Miss May.
Goodbye, Molly.
She'll be fine. A few bears. They're probably not even around anyway, so.
She must have gone
Besides-
on quite well.
She must have gone on quite a while. What do you mean?
Are you friends with the one she spoke of?
May? Not really. I think I intimidated her, or maybe I scared her, or maybe I worried her, or maybe I think I was a bit too pushy with my, you know. Well, you know, I like to hop. You know, it's not
You're
really something
eccentric.
I think about. I'm eccentric. That's a bit, you know. Well, I'll take it as a compliment, but you
It's
know,
meant as an observation.
fair. I think she didn't. Well, we thought we were trying to scam her when I was trying to give her free samples. So, you know, maybe that's had something to do with it. But Molly gets along with her, so it's whatever. I'm sure that eventually we'll get along too.
If you plan
If
on
we stay
staying.
around. Yes.
It sounds like you may have made up your mind. You talk as if you have.
Well, maybe. It's a bit subjective, I suppose. I'll probably consult with the pillow tonight. Well, I say the pillow, I don't like to sleep in bed, but yes.
Well, it would be hard to consult with your companion without her being around and off with a stranger.
Well, they should get back by morning, and if they don't, I'll go get her and I'll pick her up and I'll fly her here. She's small enough that I can carry. I think I could carry you too. Maybe. I wouldn't want to try, obviously, but, you know, Unless it was an emergency, you know.
I would prefer you didn't.
Well, certainly not without telling you. Come on, May, we're going for a flight.
You know, I might not have claws, but I do have nails. I will scratch.
Fair enough. I don't mind. But yes, fair enough.
You don't mind a scratch?
Well, a scratch or two, you know, I've had to defend myself quite a bit, you know? As I said, it's reciprocal. I know how to take care of myself.
I'm sure you do. Well, what could I possibly do against Alden? Not
Well,
much, I would
now
imagine.
I don't... Alright, well, I don't like what that implies, and I don't know that I feel, you know... You know, I'm sure that your companion would have something to say, and I'm sure that you could take care of yourself too, you know? I mean, you've been traveling for so long.
My companion is nowhere to be seen.
Yes. But again, I'm sure that you can, you know, defend yourself.
Well, it's good of you to think that. I'll allow you to keep thinking it.
Fair. By the way, I mentioned earlier your eyeliner. I think it goes very well with your eyes. You know, it's a nice contrast between the light blue and, you know, the red and pink.
I've always thought it a nice combination. Nails as well.
Yes, and the blue of the shirt.
Would you say blue is my color?
Truly.
Then?
Well, either blue or red. You know, after all, red is what you choose to represent yourself with, you know, with the eyeliner or the nails.
Oh. This might be bad.
So I would say one of those two.
Both are lovely.
Both are.
Though I'm inclined to agree that red has a nice flavor.
Indeed. I'm a bit biased, you know, with my wings.
The red hues. I get it. The warmth in general. I prefer those.
Fair. You know, it wasn't easy to get dye for that. I'll tell you that.
I'm sure. Expensive, I bet.
Relatively. If you want to trade in Asana, it's mostly bartering. You know, we don't really have money. But some people keep money to trade with the outside. You know, Molly's parents, they have been around for so long that by now they've accumulated like a small wealth. A small wealth. Rather large wealth. Just from, you know, a few coins here and there from traveling merchants. It's quite impressive, you know. I suppose when you live forever, if you start saving all the money that you have, I mean, goodness.
I should have listened better. I was distracted.
But again, it's mostly to trade with outsiders. They don't really use coin, at least not where I'm from.
But you collect it.
They collect it. I also collect it because, again, I trade with outsiders all the time.
Mm-hmm. It's smart to have change in exchange. I'm a poet.
Currency's odd, you know, but I get it. I understand bartering more.
I appreciate bartering more. Seems like you get something useful in exchange for something useful, you know?
Exactly. But I get the money too, you know, agreeing that something has value and then you trade it for something that you think has value. It's just a bit more murky, you know. And why gold anyway? You know, I think amber is much more beautiful. You know, why not amber? You know, why not amber or you know, copper? Well, that's already copper. Why not, you know, brass or electrum? You know, a mix of gold and silver. You know, that would be valuable.
Think that you're biased.
Well, you know, perhaps.
I wonder why. Couldn't be the gems you wear or the color of your eyes.
No. No reason, really.
I did hear that birds like to admire themselves.
Well, it's not good to make generalizations, you know?
Am I wrong?
I mean, I wouldn't say that I like to admire myself, but, you know, I like to take care of myself.
Do you think you're
as
handsome?
you do. Well, you know, I think that's a bit of a question to ask, you know. I think, you know, some people would say so, you know. I think that's on the eye of the beholder.
But I'm asking you.
I think that's for you to answer. Well... It's hard to say, I'll be honest. I mean, like I mentioned, they never like to keep to themselves.
You yourself don't think that you are attractive?
Well, I'd like to think that I am. It's just, you know, sometimes I doubt myself a little.
Doesn't everybody? Self-insecurities.
Well, yes. It's just not nice to be reminded every day. Well, not every day, but, you know.
I apologize.
No, it's fine. I don't mind it, again. It's all good. But yes, I do think I'm a bit cute.
You hesitated, went on an entire rambling, and then admitted.
Well, you know... It's true that one has bad days or worse days, but, you know... On good days, I think I'm cute. What about yourself, then, huh? Now the foot is in the... No, it's on the other foot, huh?
You or I?
You. What did you think you are, huh?
Admittedly rather plain, but not bad looking.
Well, I'd rather say that you are rather beautiful.
Thank you.
There.
I find you quite handsome, and is why I can't help but stare.
Well, thank you.
This is so dumb.
And I don't mind it at all.
Well, good. I cannot revoke a compliment.
Fair enough, and I won't revoke mine either. I quite like your eyes. They have this, like, shimmer to them.
They do. Perhaps it's the blue.
Perhaps.
Damn it. I think, though, that I might go make another cup of tea and finally enjoy the burger that... what's the name? The dwarf.
Holgrim, a mountain breaker. Or, as my friend Molly calls him, a mountain fucker, but I wouldn't call him that.
Gods. I will not be calling him that. I will call him by his name. Thank you for reminding me.
You shouldn't, yes.
But I will do that. Thank you for your company. It was rather nice.
Thank you for yours. I say the same to you. I hope that we can repeat this if we end up in the Kalypsia. And if we don't, well, at least while we're here.
It would be my pleasure.
So you're Aunt May.
He did notice. I thought he might. He was too close. I was too casual. I was too casual.
Right, but also, apparently, it's fine if there's a roof, and it is domed, apparently.
So, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If...
When I'm mostly sober, I get done.
It's fine.
Yes, I wanted to. But I believe stabbing him would have been...
Tinkerer from Orzammar, make things
It
like
would have
guns.
soured our chances of getting
Bunch
on
of
the
different
ship.
things.
That is true, I suppose, but stabbing a bird versus stabbing a...
Makes sense.
Someone
in a
talking
human
to you is
way.
different.
May, thank you.
Yeah, you never introduced yourself, so I didn't know.
They could argue that...
My apologies. May.
No problem. I just want to let you know. I'm Holgrim Mountainbreaker.
Holgrim. Nice to meet you. Thank you for the burger. I was just
Yeah, I
on my
left
way
it
to
at the end.
eat it now. Afternoon?
Oh, alright. Afternoon. Alright. Are you going to be a passenger for the Kalypsia?
Unfortunately, I don't think I could.
Haven't decided myself, but leaning towards perhaps trying to get on board. Yourself?
Right then. Me as well. Fergus Bracken, merchant. Newly on the surface merchant, not newly new in terms of merchant as a whole.
Understood. You've ever...
Right, while I have you here... Apologies. I am getting things people want for passengers. Luxury items or something from home, necessities you might need. I'm going to try and keep things in stock for people for what they need. Anything you need in particular?
More of a want than a need. Various tea types
that can
and
be
books are a must, and this town doesn't seem to have either of those things.
Well, looks like you're not the
Tea
only
and
one.
books, I can do that. I've already had 3 people ask me about the Eastern style teas.
That would be wonderful,
So I've plenty
actually.
of that on stock. Number 4, alright. I'll definitely keep that in stock then.
Yeah, good
Any
business.
particular books? Exactly. Any particular books you're looking for?
Um,
Enchanting books, runic books, or just romance novels. Something more spicy? I can get whatever.
romance would be nice. I like...
Aye, I can do that.
Theology.
Theology. Hi, I can do that as well.
Spicy
Any
is
particular
different
authors
than
you're looking for?
Any.
Any will do. Alright. See if I can get a good variety for you.
Thank you.
Translated, of course. Absolutely. And specialty that I have is either rail oars, or if you're looking for Tamana oars as well.
I've not much use for oars. I'm just a civilian, mostly. Traveler, not a fighter, or a mage.
Fair enough. Because I'm kind of the same way myself.
Nothing
Makes
wrong
it
with
easier and much less stressful, right? Don't need the extra stress of being able to know you can take a life.
Agreed.
Alright.
Thank you for your attention.
Alright. In May, was it correct?
Yes, sir.
Alright, May. I'll keep that in mind for you. If you do decide to board the rest of us, I'll be sure to have what you need.
Especially if we
Appreciate
can
it.
get you some.
Of course. And of course, if you ever come needing anything else, I'll have a piece of paper out from my shop. Just send your name, what you need, and I'll see what I can find.
Very well.
Good day to you.
You as well. I'm just gonna say that she's back here, like, making tea, doing tea things. Oh, God, my back hurts. Get a drink. Nice, nice. Nice, nice. She made two. She made two. Alright. Don't want to run into anyone down there. Don't want to be trapped in a building. Are you doing alright?
I'm okay. I was hiding from someone.
Who?
I do not know their name. They just scare me.
What do they look like?
He's an older man with glasses and a flat-topped hat on his head.
Gideon. He scares you?
I see. Humans tend to.
Right. I remember. He seems friendly from what I can tell. A man of knowledge.
Maybe. What is back that way?
An inn and a tavern.
I have never been that way before.
I think there's a smithy as well, if you wanted to check it out. It's usually pretty quiet if you need a place.
Maybe.
It's dark, and there aren't many people there. I would say it's a good place to hide. But it is a corner. Only one way in and out.
That is true. Are you used to hiding?
I suppose you could say that. You can never be too careful.
I don't know what a human would have to hide from, though.
Many things can overpower a simple human. I am not a fighter, I am not a mage. I have nothing to offer. But nobody would know that. If you look at me, I can't imagine I'm very intimidating.
You are.
Maybe to you, because I am human. But to others.
It's not just that.
Oh?
You carry yourself with a sort of confidence. You approached me without hesitation. Anyone who could approach someone on their own like that, especially with me and Eka being together, you weren't afraid to approach two people you didn't know, alone.
I come from a family of those who are social. Shopkeepers. You have to socialize to make business. I suppose I take after them.
I see. So, you're a merchant then?
Not any longer. I was never any good at it. I left all of that behind to travel.
I see. You just want to see the world then?
It's far more interesting than staying at home, trying to do something I'm quite terrible at.
I'd like to see the world too.
Well, you're scheduled to board an airship first of its kind. I think you will achieve that.
If it's your goal, then you should come too. If you're still debating it.
Is that an invite?
Well, how else are we going to become friends?
You're right. You're very right. I'm finding that more and more throughout the day that this might be a better decision for me after all. It would give me the opportunity to befriend you and many others that I've met since being in town. Do you have a nickname?
You would be my first human friend.
Ah.
A nickname?
Something...
What is that?
Short. An abbreviation of your full name.
I don't think I do. Would you like to give me one?
You'll have to forgive me. I'm not good with names. You'll have to tell me yours again.
Aelfe.
Aelfe, 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 Aelfe. Aelfe. I'll think on it.
Of course.
Where did your friends go?
They were back down that way, speaking with, Gideon was his name, right?
Shall we attempt to approach together?
You think it would be safe?
I think so. You won't be alone. We can give it a try. You've come this far. I imagine you've taken a great many steps. It's a good start, but if you're not ready, don't force yourself.
I'll try.
I'll lead. Though, if you intend to hide behind me, I am not a very large shield, I will admit.
I don't intend to use you as a shield. I just don't like being seen.
I understand.
Oh.
Is that them? On the bench?
Yes. It looks like Gideon walked away.
Even easier then.
Mm.
To the tavern, and everybody would have their arms around each other, singing, dancing. I didn't mean to.
No, you're fine.
Hi. I'm back.
Hey. Welcome back.
He's no longer here. Maybe you don't need me after all.
I thought that you wanted to speak with my friends too. Or, speak with Leto and Becca.
I simply wanted to get you to a place that you were more comfortable.
I see. Thank you.
You have no need to bow so deeply. You are welcome.
I was always told I needed to bow like that.
You're not in Hino Day anymore.
I suppose I'm not. No, thank you, May.
Thanks for taking care of her.
How about you don't try to kill people?
Perhaps you should do a better job.
But what if it's for the greater good of all of this town? You know, protecting people. Probably.
There's no way for me to signal her. We may have to do it in the night. Tis all of this. entire corner of town that I've never been to before. Is it just me, or do the footsteps, like, quiet down and fade out at some point? Like, I can no longer hear my feeties. And I wonder if it's because there's so many people.
No worries.
Something's definitely a mess.
Alright, no worries. Don't worry, we've talked and we have understanding.
Appreciate it.
Right, of course. I'll see you when I see you.
Of course. Likewise.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping to be able to hear their conversation from over here, but I can't. Oh, I can hear her. Oh, don't stare at me like that. I stared too long and now I can't look away. I looked away. Oh, thank fuck. Perfect. She's open. Do you mind if I sit? Oh. Why did I make that noise? I'm nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous, but I am. Where's my chair? This bench bigger than the others. Stupid fucking colliders. Did I hear you introduce yourself as Natsumi?
Yes. And your name is?
May.
Miss May.
Just May.
As you wish.
You've traveled far?
Yes.
How have you found this town?
I had a dream. The Kalypsia.
Oh, I like the way she talks. You and many others, so I've heard.
Yes, so I've heard too.
You plan on boarding this Kalypsia?
Yes.
Should be quite an interesting journey.
Yes.
Have you had a chance to meet any of the others?
Yes.
Afternoon?
Some of them. Yes. Welcome back.
Might I rejoin, or...?
Sure.
It's a little crowded. You don't have to. No.
It's fine. I've been sitting for a while.
Thank you.
Do you know each other?
No. We met today.
May. Ah.
Chidi.
Pleasure. Have you also had dreams?
I'm of the number, yes.
A commonality upon arriving to town?
Prophetic dreams are not uncommon.
Of this variety, though, from what I've heard, it should cause alarm.
Yes, of that I would agree. Assuming, of course... Yes.
Assuming, of course, that it's real.
Well, I was going to start in on the boat being upside down again, but I feel like I've exhausted that conversation for now.
I suppose we have a similar interest. I'm not convinced it can yet fly.
Again, dwarves think they fall up. They built a ship that can fly. Which way would the deck point?
I don't have this knowledge. I don't understand.
Down. It would point down, because they think they go up. Meaning, the boat would be upside down.
Look at our teeves! And so?
It would be a very short ride. But moreover, it raises huge logistical questions about the dwarven design. And possible what they know we don't.
That's sort of their craft, though, isn't it?
They are excellent at refining, at cultivating, and at building, but that doesn't necessarily mean they are masters of celestial navigation or aerodynamics. In fact, I would argue probably both fields they don't really specialize in.
I imagine there are many societies who hold knowledgeable secrets. This could be one of them. Secret experts, perhaps.
Maybe it is just all a ploy. And they all pretend when they go out that they fall up. To keep us all on our toes.
I would find that to be more believable.
That makes more sense. I'm sorry, I hope I'm not interrupting.
No, I was just... She was alone. I thought I would have introduced myself.
Yes, I had to step away a moment to find something to eat.
Well, you'll find many
tea.
shopkeep doors open. Hopefully you both were part of the
So-
lucky few able to find a room.
Yes.
No.
Unfortunate.
It's fine. I'm used to it.
Are you?
I've been traveling for some time, and before this I was a monk.
I see. From where, if I may ask? Although your attire makes it rather obvious.
I come from the Court of Star Monastery in southwest of Hidone.
Then perhaps I spoke too soon. Not what I was expecting. Though forgive me, you don't look like a monk.
As I said, I have not walked the path for a few years now.
But you still include it in your introduction.
Would you not, if it made up so much of your life?
I suppose it would depend on how much shines through now.
Well. You are all the parts of yourself that you were and will become.
I suppose that's true. How very monk-like of you. Very philosophical.
But yes, it also should, well, to be fair, it is more of a test for me to see who recognizes the path. There are very few who do, which I suppose is a good sign.
It's good that they don't recognize.
Many of the, those further along the path are vowed to keep many of the things we do secret for the sake of our privacy and well-being. So, having, let's call it, a low profile is probably good for the health of the monastery.
The less that know, the better. Easy enough to understand.
Exactly.
She covers her face with her sleeves.
And yourself?
So cute.
I don't recognize the clothes.
Traveler. I come from Rivendell.
The little blue elf, the Madam Runesmith, whose name avoids me. She is from there too.
I don't believe I've had the chance to meet her. Though I haven't been there in some time.
I'm starting to notice a through line.
A what?
A through line. The line that connects all of us. It seems many people have not been
Sounds
to their birthplaces in some time. Or places they would call home. Everyone seems to be a traveler before even this.
Another commonality then. Interesting. Though purely coincidence, I would assume. Unless it's not. And all of you that have shared the dream have
Possibly.
that in common as well.
You have not then?
No. Contrary to most here, I just came to see if the airship was real. I was passing through anyhow.
I see. Well. Interesting times.
I'm inclined to agree. But the more I mingle with all of you jumping aboard, the more I'm convinced to give it a shot myself. It would be better to travel that way, I would say.
Unless it's upside down.
Unless it's upside down. Perhaps you all should ask it to do a test flight before you jump aboard.
I intend to.
I'm curious to see how well that would go over.
What will you do after it's gone?
If I decide not to join the ship, I will carry on to the south, trying to see as much of the world as I can. Far more interesting than Rivendell.
I have never been, but I imagine you are correct.
Fuck this fucking collider, fucking god damn it.
So, just a traveler? Career traveler? Any skills? Job? A family from which you hail that pays for your journeys?
Family has a jewelry shop back home. Something that I was never any good at. It's where the money comes from, at least. I have no need to be a merchant or a fighter or a mage or otherwise.
It helped?
It would. But it's not my interest.
So is travel your only interest?
Unless you count read every book possible, then sure. But alas, I think
that
that
counts.
is not achievable.
It still counts.
Then by your standards, sure. Those are my goals. I don't ask for much. Yourself?
Well, as I said, I was a monk before this. And during my time in the monastery, I was also an alchemist, of which a trade I still continue to carry on.
I see. I see. You didn't leave anything behind in order to be here.
I left very much, but for other reasons.
I see. Well, then hopefully it's worth it.
Well, very few things have no value.
Not even an upside-down ship.
Well, maybe an upside-down ship.
Not if you consider its parts.
I suppose. And what have you, Natsumi?
What about me?
Well, what about you?
I'm a guard.
Okay. And what are you guarding out here?
I'm on an errand.
Are you a guard if you're not actively guarding the thing you're supposed to be guarding?
I believe so. I'm on a mission.
Well, but you're not guarding anything, so you're not a god. Right? Right? You would be, what is a person who just does missions?
My guess would be adventurer.
Soldier? Adventurer?
Mission sounds too
Soldier.
freeform. Assignments is more structured.
Agent?
I was telling myself I am a guard.
She's so cute. She doesn't.
You're a third party here. What do you think?
If she says that she's a guard, then she's a guard. If you say you're a monk, then you're a monk.
Well then, I suppose you're a god on... extended range.
Little do you know, even though I know Winston knows. That's really funny. Closer than you think.
Can I ask, what did you guard? I heard someone inquire if it was a town, a person, a shop. But I did not hear the answer.
Royalty.
Royalty?
Well.
Wow.
There is a lord from Valinor here. Perhaps they've hired extended help.
Mm. Lord.
Indeed. I was quite surprised myself.
I saw a fellow who appeared to be from Valinor earlier. I did not think he was a lord.
A light-haired elven man. Indeed.
Well, that's concerning.
Agreed.
How so?
You know how elves get.
Yes.
Well, there's your answer.
Okay.
No offense.
Not enough.
Well, still from Rivendell.
Yes, surrounded by them. I quite understand. I'm inclined to agree.
What an eclectic scene. A fish walking and a man flying. And dwarves building a boat on the sky.
Makes everything sound far more exciting than it is when you say it like that.
There is a saying one of my masters taught me, and it is to always wish to live in boring times. And these are most certainly interesting times. Not very boring indeed.
No. wonder how long she can hold that bubble of water.
I've debated walking into it a few times now.
That might be a bit distasteful. But if you do, I'm curious to see how it ends up.
Well, manners are often the death of curiosity. For good reason.
Very good reason.
What was that?
He made his camp inside of a city?
Yes, he apparently made himself comfortable.
Speaking of eclectic,
What about them?
oh, performers. Always an interesting sign. Those two, or at least the one, particularly eye-catching.
Yes, I'm curious
Very
to hear him
colorful.
perform. I've told him countless times to change.
What do you think? A musician? A juggler? Dancer, perhaps? Or a jester, like the hat might suggest?
I quite like the name of Jester. Think it suits him. Not to me has seen
Wow.
something.
Who doesn't like a little physical comedy?
I take it you do.
It appeals to a very base instinct. I feel like everyone can relate.
A simple flavor of humor.
Exactly. Here comes the bird. There goes the bird. I've been warned he's a pushy merchant, but after this morning, he has not approached me at all.
He's not all that bad. Eager to sell his wares, sure, but he's alright.
He was a little too in my face.
As opposed to other merchants.
Wow, they don't literally hop at you with their little hands.
I find it endearing. In childish way. That one startles easy. Alden can be overwhelming.
I'm not sure what you're trying to say.
I'm sorry.
She frightens easily. You'll have to be patient with her.
Right. I will.
I will return briefly.
You're right. She's a guard. She's meant to be on alert. I'm sure she was just taking her job seriously. And I'm sure you've seen Alden running around, putting himself in everyone's business. For me.
I was told by a merchant that these are good to give to people. To friends.
You got them from a merchant?
Inside one of the shops.
Thank you. I've not been given very many gifts.
I've never been given a gift. I was just told that these were something people give to others when I looked at it.
Well, it's a sweet treat if you haven't had it yet. It can be overwhelming at first, but it's good.
I don't think I could eat any more today. I've already eaten much more than I normally do.
What about a drink then? It's tea from Asana. I haven't drinking out of it yet. I drink to calm myself. Perhaps it'll do you some good. It's a little bitter, but it's warm. And keep it.
Hey, are you sure?
Of course. I have plenty back in my room. I can always make more. You've given me a gift. Allow me to do the same.
Your friend there is a guard, you said.
I wouldn't say that we're friends. I've only just met her. But she did mention that she was a guard.
I see. Thank you for the tea. I should get going.
Of course. I hope the rest of your day goes as, well, as smoothly as you would hope.
You too, May.
Take care.
Oh, well, I apologize.
You're okay. So did you have the dream then?
The dream? No, I had no such thing. Although I hear that everyone has had it, almost. You know, like, half the town at least, right, May?
Most of the visitors, yes.
Right. What about you? Have you had the dream?
Yes.
Oh, fair enough. I see. Interesting. Well, good. You know, well, I don't know if it's good. You know, it's not necessarily good or bad.
From what I've heard, it doesn't sound very good.
Yes. What do you make of it?
I'm not certain. What am I gonna make of it?
Well, I don't know. A lot of people think that it's a prophecy of some sort. Some others say that it was some powerful mage that for some reason gave everyone that vision, which I don't know about. But yeah, there's some theories. What was that?
Advertising.
Advertising? Well, I hadn't thought about that. That would be quite odd.
It's a good way to make a lot of enemies.
But I guess it would work.
Well, there's a saying, no publicity is bad publicity.
I can agree,
I suppose.
so long as it doesn't get you killed.
Yes, I don't know how much I agree with that, I'll be honest, but I could see the appeal. Still, I don't know how one could even muster to give a vision to so many people from so many places around the world, you know?
Perhaps they
That
were a
would have to be some
traveler.
powerful magic. Perhaps.
Perhaps it was targeted at everyone. But it only worked on a few.
Right. Well, maybe. But still, the magic would be quite to be so large. Like worldwide, there's people here from Orsimar, and Hinode, and Solasta, and Frostheim. So... that's very powerful. I would be very worried if someone was capable of something like that.
Especially for advertising purposes.
Well, yes, especially if they used it for advertising purposes. Although I could think of many other more malignant things that they could be doing with it. So I suppose if they're more on the advertisement side of things, I'm glad that they're doing that and not giving everyone other kinds of dreams or memories.
Well, how do you know?
Well, I guess I don't know. Do you have any memories?
How do you know any of your memories or dreams are your own? How do you know you are not an amalgamation up to this point someone else has created?
Well, my friend Molly probably, you know. I think I know who I am. Do you know how you are, me?
I would like to think so.
Well, yes, we all would, right? What's your name? I didn't catch it. Well, you didn't give it.
It is Chidi.
Chidi bang bang.
Oh,
Sorry.
Chidi. Chidi, okay. Well, my name is Alden. It's nice to meet you.
I've heard a lot about you.
Oh, you have? Good things, I hope.
Mostly. And
Well,
what was not
fair.
good was primarily neutral. So.
Well, that's good. All right. Well, I haven't heard anything about you, so it's a bit unfair. Where are you from, huh?
Take a wild guess.
Hinode.
Not to me, if you
Well,
don't
there you
mind.
go.
I'd like to inquire about something.
Yes.
Do you mind if we step away?
Yes.
Enjoy your
You do mind if you
introductions.
step away.
No, I mean...
I'm sorry about earlier, by the way. I hope I didn't come across too strongly. I was just...
I've been asking everyone who comes from Hinode what their dream was like. I'd like to ask you about yours.
Why would you like to know?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Mine was about the castle. It was burning.
Everyone's is different then. Did you learn of anything useful?
think you already know about the Lord. That is from Valinor.
Seems he is here for business from the Majesty. Yes. Be wary of him. I'm sure he will take a particular interest in you, considering your role.
Yes.
I have a favor to ask of you, but first, I think you know what I must do. It's about time, before it's too late.
Yes, lady. Kalypsia.
It's dangerous to call me that, even in a private space.
Sorry.
Neil. Sorry. It's probably uncomfortable when she does it at first until it fades into like numbness, just so you have something to go off of. Still yourself. The more you fidget, the longer I must do it.
Yes.
Good. What is your name?
Imari Natsume.
Who are you loyal to?
You.
I'll accept that for now. You did well. Right.
Thank you.
I would like for you to take a bite of this.
Thank you.
It is not for you. It might be poisoned. I'm sorry. Thank you. I won't keep you. If you don't return soon, they might think that something is suspicious. Alden seems to have taken an attachment to me. If they ask you what I wanted, I suppose I was just inquiring about who you were, and if you were boarding the ship. I will retire. Don't go far.
Yes, Miss May.
I missed them. Oh, it's gonna be so tough. It's gonna be so hard. I love Natsumi. I love this version of Natsumi. This is gonna be so exciting. Chidi is difficult. I don't know what I was expecting, but she's great. More inquisitive and knowledgeable than I was expecting. Like, I didn't expect her to be dumb, but I was expecting like a chaotic, like Tristana type. I don't know. And I love the accent. Very good. So excited.
Has a type of starch or grain that will basically be
Good night, Natsumi.
building blocks for all
Rest well.
food.
Good night. Good night. You?
Good night, you three. Have a good evening.
Good night, May.
Have a good evening.
Her hips move a lot.